Unplug my phone. Good morning. I am Andrea Reynolds, and I do not usually scope at this time because oftentimes I'm not awake yet because I'm a serious night owl. But I thought I would come on here because yesterday, I went through this stupid self-doubt spiral, and I put a smackdown to it, and I'm trying to document the ways that I put a stop to it because I think it can help kids and I think it can help other people. Let me close the blinds because the sun's shining right in my face, and that's kind of annoying. I know, and that's the thing. I surround myself with mantra bands. Say do it anyway. Let your light shine. Look, let me show you. I have quotes everywhere. I have quotes all over my wall. I have them everywhere. But you know what the thing is? The thing I've realized is that quotes don't just magically poof fix everything. And little mantras, they don't work either, because when you have when you struggle with self-doubt, I've realized that's all well and good to say oh, just do it anyways, or just, oh, you're awesome, be awesome. It's not going to cure it. It's not going away. It's not. And it's something that that's why I've kind of work on creating a toolbox for myself. And I know that it's not going away. It's going to be there. And it's something that I'm going to have to face probably every single day. And so I have to find a way to deal with it, because even this weekend, I was thinking about how the one about adversity, I think about people who have been through something really bad and they cling to that, and they're I can't do this because of this main event. Okay, and I was thinking, okay, people have probably heard enough that I got attacked by a dog in 2015, and that, I've been through a divorce, blah, blah, in the past year, my website screwed up, that, this stuff happens to everybody. So it's not as I always say, no one's baggage is more special than anyone else's. And so I just feel it gets tired. I've realized that people with ADHD tend to do that more. They tend to take, just the people I know, the one catastrophic thing, and they, because to me, I feel if the dog attack wouldn't have happened, then I, wouldn't have these scars all over my arms that I have. I wouldn't have the problem with my arm. I wouldn't have not have been able to stop. I've had to modify how I worked out, so I really just didn't work out very much for quite a while because my arm is messed up. And then it's then I can't type, and I'm I can't write blog posts, and it's that right there is I realized I was if I just sit here and cling to that, and for my whole life this one main tragedy that happened to me, what good is that doing me? It's and I think I'm over it, and I realize I'm not over it because I was at my brother's my brother's house for my nephew's birthday party, and his dog jumped on me, and I flipped out. I started crying, I panicked, and I had to leave, and I was I'm not over this. And that's what I realized. I'm that's okay. And I also realized, you know what? Sometimes I'm not over my ex-husband. And I say I am, I am, but every once in a while I do think about him. And there's nothing freaking wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, every once in a while having these little, meltdowns. And there's nothing wrong with having, what I just, spells where you just are down on yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. It's whether you pick yourself back up and move on, or whether you dwell on it. And then I'm not talking about depression. I don't suffer from depression. I don't suffer from anxiety. What I suffer from is the effects of having a brain that works faster than everyone else's brain and trying to fit into society. And then the whole reason Saturday I was started on this whole pity party for myself. Like, oh, everyone else is here because with their, like, significant other, and I'm the only one who's single, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so what? This time last year, my ex-husband had just left me, and it was a good thing. Would I have rather been at the party with a bipolar alcoholic who treated me like shit most of the time because of his demons? Or would I have rather have been there alone? I think I know my answer. But I started on this whole, like, spiral. There's the new song came out, the Scary Allen song, like, messed me up, and I listened to it, I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what my ex-husband did to me. And he's not a bad person. He's not at all a bad person. He's just like, it was a toxic relationship, and we both know that. That's why we're not getting back together, even though we both still love each other. We cannot be together, and I know that. And so I started on a song, because songs speak to me. Music is my medicine, but music can also be an enemy. And then I started, like, getting upset about, like, Chris Cornell passing away. And I was like, great, you know, he's a creative. And people who are creatives are these, like, tortured souls. And why can't I do more to help kids who are creatives not feel so trapped and so, like, they don't fit in? Because that's kind of how I am. I feel like my shirt, okay, it's legacy over currency. And this, I said Saturday, I was like, because my brother's a CPA, and so my sister-in-law is too, and I was like, I didn't wear this I told my dad, and my son was like, I didn't wear this shirt because I thought that would be kind of weird with, you know, accountant's baby, you know, wearing this shirt. And both my dad and my son were like, you need to be caring about currency first anyways right now. And I'm like, and it's a joke. It's a joke because I'm not bringing in, like, big money with my business right now. But the thing is, I truly, truly, truly believe in legacy first. Like, my integrity. Like, people don't realize how many times I could have sold out. How many times I could have sold out. Like, I could have taken opportunities. I could have done sponsorships. I could have done, like, affiliate marketing for stuff. And I could have done it incognito. And I could have been sketchy as hell. I could go on Busker. And bat my blue eyes and make money. I could come on here and wear low-cut shirts and, like, try to cater to men and make money. But I don't do that. You know, I don't do that. And so everyone can think I'm a freaking joke. They can laugh at me because I'm in things for the long haul, but I don't care. And so yesterday I just started this whole, like, I was updating my ebook, okay? And then I started on this whole, like, oh my God, what if nobody cares because it sucks? And I was like, well, then maybe it's because I suck and I don't know what people want. Then I was like, oh, maybe it's not of any value or spiral. And, like, I was like, oh, well, I can't do anything right in life. Well, I'm not doing great in my business. I'm single, blah, blah, blah. And I started this whole downward spiral, this whole thing. And here's what I did to shut it down, because I know I do this about myself. So my first thing is, like, through me sharing my story on Periscope and like documenting it, things on, like, Instagram or wherever, like, I've realized my patterns, and I realized, like I'm very self-aware, and that's really helpful. And so I realized that, like, through me sharing my story, I realized, like, how I can help people. And my ultimate goal is to help kids. And I didn't even introduce myself. It's like I'm Cher or Madonna or something. If you don't know who I am, Andrea Reynolds. I'm a public school teacher gone rogue. I left the classroom because I was over the way things were done in the public school system for English language learners and for kids with ADHD and for gifted kids. And I'm over it. And I wanted to do something to spread awareness for American history and, you know, incorporating the arts and creativity. And I couldn't take it in the public school classroom anymore. But I've said this, I have the back of public school teachers from the outside, because I'm not saying that every public school teacher should just up and run. They shouldn't. They shouldn't leave. It's the place for most people. It's not the place for teachers with ADHD, and it's not the right environment for kids with ADHD. But what can we do? We can't, like, what am I going to do? Go live on an island for misfit humans? No, I'm not. I'm not going to go live on an island for misfit humans, because my brain wiring is different. And so I'm doing things my own way. And my first thing I'm doing with my new, like, Okay, so right now on socialstudieswhisperer.com, I share ideas for like making social studies creative, right? Because I love American history, because I love the people, I love the untold tales and the unsung heroes. That's what history is about for me. But I also am passionate about helping English language learners because they're the untold tales. So much potential. And those kids, those are the ones who are smarter than everyone else. They speak more than one language. That means you're smarter. You're not special ed. Same thing with people with ADHD. Oftentimes, like, there's just brilliant minds, like gifted, genius, creative ideas, but they get stifled and they get, like, forced to be a square peg in a round hole because our brain wiring is different. And that doesn't mean we're special ed. It doesn't mean we have a disorder. It doesn't mean we're disabled. It doesn't mean we're mentally ill. It just means it's just different brain wiring. This is a hand we were dealt. Oftentimes, I say ADHD is a gift that I'd like to return, because sometimes I would, and it's when I have the self-doubt, and the self-doubt comes from, like, okay, nobody else has written an ebook like mine. It's a scrapbook. It's a scrapbook of my, like, how I did things in the classroom last year to show teachers, like, this is how I modified things for English language learners, and this is how you can do it too. And then I started realizing, like, so the first thing I did, I owned it. I was like, self-doubt. This is what the problem is. It's like none of this stuff I'm telling myself is the truth. And so that's my first step. Call it out. Own it. Post it. Like I'm not ashamed to say that I'm not perfect and that I struggle with self-doubt. I don't have, that's not like, and I think, oh, well, people are going to think that won't want to buy from me because I, say that I struggle with self-doubt, or that, like, I even sometimes think, like, what stuff I create sucks. Like, if you don't want to buy from me because I'm not, like, selling you bullshit, then don't buy from me. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be transparent, and but I'm not putting everything out there, because some of the stuff I started feeling, I started typing on this post, and I was like, here's everything I think about my ebook. And I was like, I made a list. I was like, it sucks. It's too expensive. And I was like, stop it. Then that's the second thing I did. That's what I do. Like, if I'm having these doubts, I'll write them down. Or I'll, like, type it in my notes app on my phone. You should see, I have the most random notes app ever. Like, all this stuff. Like, and then once I see it in print, I'm like, holy crap. These are all lies you're telling yourself. Or if you were someone else talking to yourself, this is not what you would say. You charging $25 for an ebook is not too expensive. It doesn't suck. People have looked at you and then I'm like, stop it. You have not promoted it. You haven't, like, done, your preview is sucked. Your preview file sucked, so I'm fixing that. And that's why I was like, stop. I can't just, like, give up, because now, like, I'm creating a course out of it, because it's 10, like, easy ways to, like, make your, classroom modified for English language learners. And this perfectly fits into a course, because I can do, like, a little video for each one and include, like, my Teachers Pay Teachers products that apply to each thing. And I was like, but what if nobody wants it? And I was like, stop it. And that's what, like, I call myself out. It's almost like I don't hear voices, but I call myself out. I own it. And I realize, I'm like, these are lies you're telling yourself. These are lies you're telling yourself. This is stuff that, like, you can't. And then I get mad. I used to get mad and beat myself up for feeling this way, but I'm like, me getting mad at myself for the self-doubt is like a vicious cycle, and it doesn't stop, and it just keeps on going, and that's not gonna make it go away. So I realized, listen, I was like, damn it, you know what, I'm just gonna own it. I'm just gonna post something. I was like, instead of, like, listing out all the stuff, like, all these things I'm feeling right now, all I did was just post a picture. It was a Bitmoji. It says self-doubt GTFO. It means get them out. And that was it. I didn't need the caption. I didn't need to just write out, like, all these things I think about my ebook, because those are in my own head. Those aren't things that, like, other people need to hear, because they're not valid. They're invalid. This messaging in my head, some of it is invalid. And that's through just, like, years and years of, like, just messaging in my brain. And it's like, and part of it plays in, like, you know, you can take things more personally that your family says than anyone else, because, like, my family's seen me make like these dumb ass decisions, like bad choices. They've been there and they've seen that. And it's like, your family knows how to hit you where it hurts. So sometimes you have to take things with a grain of salt. And be like, okay, go ahead and laugh at me. I don't care. I don't need to make the Christmas letter. That's fine. But really, like, honestly, my dad is super, super, super supportive of me. And so I just, like, them saying that, like, compounded with, like, I was there alone, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whatever. And so last night, what I did, I was like, after I started listing it out, and then I like posted something. I posted something in a Facebook group, but not just on my Facebook page, like my personal Facebook page, because I'm not fishing for sympathy. And I don't need people to tell me I have depression or I have low self-esteem. I don't. And that's the thing. It's like, that's why self-doubt with ADHD is such a like confusing thing, because it's not depression, it's not anxiety, it's not like low self-esteem. Like, I don't hate myself, you know, I don't think I suck at life, but it's like sometimes I do have these bouts where I like get frustrated with myself, and what it is being too hard on myself, and someone just telling me like, you're too hard on yourself. Yeah, I know this. If I could fix it, I would. But I can't fix it. And so I just have to own it in the moment. And I just like posted in a group that I'm in for like a Facebook group for like other adults that have ADHD. I didn't, because people there, they're like, you're not, I knew that people there could relate. And I also posted it because I wanted to show those people that like, this is how I'm feeling and it's okay. You know, I know that these things I'm telling myself are bullcrap. And so that was what I did. I asked for help, or like I wasn't a cry for, it was like I was just like needed validation to hear that it's okay. And sometimes that's what we need. So have that circle. Have that circle of people. Know that place you can go. Sometimes it's not your family. It's not your family because they're not objective. So have a self-doubt toolbox, and these are the things in mine. Like, I call it out. I call it out. I own it. Okay, I'm facing self-doubt. Like, I write out like exactly what I'm thinking, and once it's in print in front of me, I can look at it and like be like, that's not true. That's not true, and that's not true. And then I stopped, like, I was mad at myself for feeling that way. And like, that, you can't be mad at yourself for your feelings, because you can't change your feelings, and that just makes it worse. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then I stopped working on what I was doing, because I was in that kind of headspace. When I'm in that headspace, it's like, I'm going to think everything I do sucks. And so, like, what is the point of me trying to, like, put together nice preview files or, like, update a description or put together a video when I'm in that headspace? So I changed directions. I just stopped what I was doing, because it was already, like, 11 o'clock at night anyways, and I'd already been working like a really long time on this, and I was like, just stop, just watch a movie. So that's what I did, and sleep on it. And then I woke up today and I feel better, because I knew I was just facing the self-doubt, and like, it was not valid. And so that's my advice. If you're facing the self-doubt, then ask for help. You know, maybe like write about what you're feeling. Or here's what I do. Sometimes I like draft out a Facebook status, and I'm like, wait a minute. Once you think about it like that, like, you know, if I posted this on Facebook, what would other people say? What would other people tell me? And you have to be your own cheerleader. And for me, like, I have to realize, like, I'm the best cheerleader for everyone else, but I'm terrible at being my own. And I have to think about, like, if I were someone else from the outside looking in, like, what would I say? And so maybe, like, sometimes you just have to, like, I don't know. It's like Jedi mind trick. You have to Jedi mind trick yourself. And so I've made sure that I have a self-doubt toolbox, because entrepreneurship is hard. And, like, there are so many times I've thought about giving up. I've thought about, like, applying for a job. And I'm like, no. I'm in this for the long term, so I'm not seeing this first sticky note I put up. Like, don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, seeds you planted. Like, I know the things I'm doing now, like, I'm building relationships with people, and I'm, like, putting in the work, like, documenting things, and I'm, like, creating things for long term, and I know that, and I'm not, like, trying to have a 5-figure launch or whatever bull crap. I'm not like using affiliate marketing for shortcuts. And so that's what I believe. Like, and so it's just important to realize that self-doubt, if you have ADHD, like, you're always going to struggle with self-doubt, probably, because you can be fine with who you are, because a lot of times I'll be like, woohoo, I'm awesome, and then I go to like explain something to somebody else, or like somebody says something and it like taps into one of my vulnerabilities, and I'm like, you know, then that's it. And so you just have to have a toolbox, and you just have to know, like, put together like a list of of a toolbox, and that's my advice. And I am not a life coach. I am just a mom. I'm just a teacher gone rogue, because I'm still a teacher. I still want to help people. That's what it's about for me. I'm someone who has ADHD myself. That's what I am. And so all those things, you know, that's all I got for you. So I hope that, like, I hope this gave you something to think about. Maybe one of those tips will work, because life's too short to sit there and like dwell on the past, because I can't change the fact that like my website got messed up forever. I can't change the fact that I have these scars all over my arms. And even if I like try to cover them up or wear long sleeves, they're still there. Whatever crap you've been through in the past, it's not going away. And dwelling on it is not making it any better. Dwelling on it is not making you go back in time and fix it. Not saying like, oh, poof, just get over it, because that's not how life works. It's not how things take time to get over. They take time, but you need to like surround yourself with like-minded people, and people who build you up, not people who are going to make you feel like crap about yourself. And even if it's family, then you might have to distance yourself, because there are certain family members I distance myself from. And it's sad, but it's true. You just like connect with them on a surface level, and that's fine. I'm not saying like disown them or be rude. I'm saying like connect on a surface level. So that's all I have for you. Yeah, so I hope this helps someone, at least one person. That's my goal. I used to say I want to start a revolution, and now I've brought the revolution down. I'm like, I don't want to start a revolution. I don't. I want to help one person at a time. Thank you for watching. I'm getting ready to go meet up with a new friend that I connected with who lives locally. She does virtual assistant work, and that's something that I'm going to be offering, but only certain things that I like doing, because I realized how a lot of people don't like social media, which I don't get. A lot of people don't like writing, which I don't get. And a lot of people don't like live streaming and video and stuff. I'm like, so those are things that are good qualities that I have. So thank you for watching, and I really do appreciate everyone I really do. Like, it makes me happy to know that like I'm giving something to someone, you know? And what you do matters. So let me turn this. There's my computer screen. What? There's my. Here you go. There's my list. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.